The house was quiet, too quiet for a man like Jungkook, a man who ruled the city from the shadows, a man whose name alone could silence rooms. And yet, tonight the silence didn't feel powerful. It felt empty. He loosened his tie, stepping into the dimly lit living room, his sharp eyes immediately scanning the space. That's when he saw you, collapsed on a couch. Sketches scattered across the floor like fallen petals, fabric swatches draped over your laptop still glowing beside you. Your fingers were stained faintly with ink and dark circles painted exhaustion beneath your eyes even in sleep. Jungkook frowned. Again, you had done this again. Wyan. His voice was low controlled, but it held something else tonight. You stirred slightly but didn't wake up. He stepped closer, picking up one of your sketches, his brow knit together as he studied it. Elegant, breathtaking, you were talented. Too talented to be destroying yourself like this. There's a show in 3 days, you mumbled weakly, half asleep. I can't stop. Chunky, jaw clenched. Of course, the fashion show. The one you had been obsessing over for weeks. The one that mattered more to you than sleep, meals, or apparently your health. He set the sketch down slowly, then without warning, he scooped you up into his arms. Your eyes fluttered open slightly. Jungkook, you whispered, confused. Shut up, he muttered, not harshly, just firm. You blinked at him. I wasn't done. Working. I don't care, that made you frown. I have to finish. And I said I don't care. His voice dropped dangerous, final, but his grip on you, gentle, careful. Like you were something fragile, he laid you onto the bed, pulling the blanket over you before you could even protest. I married a designer, he said quietly, losing his cuffs, not a corpse. Your lips parted slightly. You think I'm overreacting? You murmured. I think, he said, leaning down, his gaze sharp and unreadable, that you haven't slept properly in a week. Silence. You looked away. That was answer enough. The arranged marriage hadn't been your choice or his, a contract between powerful families, a merging of influence, control. At first, Jungkook had been distant, cold, untouchable. And you buried yourself in your work, safer that way. No expectations, no heartbreak. But somewhere along the way, things shifted. Small things like him remembering how you take your coffee or quickly placing food beside you when you forgot to eat, or watching you like you were something he didn't quite understand, yet it couldn't look away from. You will run your health, he said now softer. And if I mess up this show, I will run my career. His eyes flickered. Then he signed a rare, tired sound. You won't mess it up. You don't know that I do. I You blinked. How? He hesitated for a fraction of a second before answering. Because everything you make is perfect. Your breath caught. That was the first time he had ever said something like that. We looked at him properly now. Not the mafia boss, not a man people fear, just junk. Standing there, sleeves rolled up, hair slightly messy, eyes shadowed with worry. For you, I just need this to work, he whispered. It will. And if it doesn't, he stepped closer. Close enough that your breath hit. Then I will make it work. You frowned slightly. You can't just. I can. There it was. That quiet power. But this time it wasn't intimidating. It was reassuring. His hand reached out hesitantly, briefly before brushing a strand of hair away from your face. Sleep, he said softly. I will wake you up in few hours. And my work? I will guard it with my life, he replied, a faint smirk tugging at his lips. You let out a small laugh despite yourself. As your eyes closed slowly, exhaustion finally pulling you under, you felt something warm settle beside you. Jungkook. He didn't go back to his word of shadows and days and danger. He stayed, one arm draped protectively over you. Outside the city buzzed, inside surrounded by silks, cages and shadows. Jeon Jungkook watched over you, not as a mafia boss, not as a stranger, but as your husband. And maybe something more. Morning came too quickly, you barely remembered falling asleep. Only the warmth beside you, steady and unfamiliar, yet comforting. When you opened your eyes, the first thing you noticed was the sunlight filtering through the curtains. The second Jungkook, still there, he was sitting at the edge of a bed, sleeves rolled up again, your sketchbook in his hand. Your heart skipped. Are you going through my designs? He croaked. Why still thick with sleep? He didn't look guilty. Not even a little. They are messy, he said calmly. You shot up. Excuse me? His lips twitched just slightly, but brilliant. You froze. Oh. You rubbed your eyes, glancing at the clock. Your breath hitched. I slept for 7 hours. Yes. I told you to wake me up. No, he corrected, closing the sketchbook gently. You complain about being tired. That's not the same thing. It is to me. Before you could argue further, he stood and walked towards you, holding out something, a cup of coffee, exactly how you like it. You stared at it. You made this? I didn't poison it, if that's what you are asking. You took it slowly. Still suspicious, but once it melted your doubt instantly perfect. Of course it was. You went through my designs, you said again, softer this time. Yes, and he tilted his head, studying you like you're one of your own creations. You're nervous. You blinked. What? No, I'm not. You stayed up for days straight. That's dedication. That's fear. Your grip tightened around the cup. What if it's not good enough? You admitted quietly. Changkung didn't answer right away. Instead, he reached behind him and picked up something you hadn't noticed before. A dress, one of yours, the centerpiece design, flowing, elegant, impossibly detailed. Your breath caught. You finished it, he said. I wasn't sure about the neckline. It's perfect. You looked at him, really looked. You didn't even hesitate. I didn't need to. He stepped closer, holding the dress up between you. This, he said, wise, slow, steady. This isn't something people forget. You chase Titan. You speak like you know fashion. I don't, he admitted. But I know power. When I see it, his eyes locked onto yours, and this is power. Something inside you shifted. The doubt, the exhaustion, the quiet fear that had been sitting in your chest for days. It didn't disappear completely, but it softened. Come with me tonight, you said suddenly. He raised an eyebrow. To the show. Silent. That's not really your world, you added quite quickly. There will be cameras, people. I will be there. You blinked. That was fast. I'm your husband. The way he said it made your stomach flip. Where else could I be? The night of the show, the venue was alive, lights, music, voices overlapping into a chaotic hum. Models rushed backstage, stylish shouted instruction, heels clicked against polished floors, and you were seconds away from losing your mind. Ryan, we need the final lineup. Where's the silver ground? The press is asking for you. Everything blurred together until a hand closed gently around your waist. You turned, Jungkook dressed in black as always, but tonight sharper, cleaner, deadly in a different way. People noticed him. Of course they did. They always did. But he only looked at you. Breathe, he said quietly. I can't. You can. His thumb brushed lightly against your wrist, grounding, steady. You have already done the hard part, he continued. Now let them see it. Your heart was racing, but somehow you nodded. From the front row, Jungkook watched everything. The lights dimmed, the music started, and then your design came to life. Fabric moved like water. Every piece told a story. Every step on a runway carried your vision, your sleepless nights, your quiet determination. The audience was silent at first, then whispers, then apology, growing louder, stronger, unstoppable. Jungkook didn't clap, he just watched, eyes sharp, proud. When the final piece appeared, the dress, the room stayed completely, and for a moment it felt like the entire world had just stopped just to look at what you created. Backstage, your hands trembled. Ryan, that was incredible. The response is insane. You did it. But all you could think about was him. You pushed through the crowd, heart pounding, searching, until you found him, still standing there like he hadn't moved at all. Well, you asked, breathless. Jungkook stepped closer, close enough that the noise around you faded again. I was wrong, he said. Your heart dropped. Oh, it's not perfect. You blinked. It's unforgettable. Before you could react, his hand came up, cupping your face gently, and then he kissed you. Not cold, not distant, but slow, certain, like he had made a decision. The crowd blurred, the noise disappeared, and for the first time, this didn't feel like an arrangement, a contract, an obligation. It felt real. When he pulled away, his forehead rested light against yours. You don't get to run yourself into the ground anymore, he murmured. You smiled softly, bossy. Get used to it. You laughed quietly, and this time you didn't pull away. Because somewhere between the silk and shadows, you had fallen for him, and judging by the way Jungkook looked at you, he had fallen first.